And you gotta do that even though you're not gonna have the feedback that you want. You're not gonna have the praise that you want up front. In fact, you're usually gonna have criticism and maybe even ridicule. So think about that. I think that's ultimately my point here, is that you have to choose between whether you really want to uphold this nice, shiny self-image that you've got, or you would rather build this beautiful dream life, something powerful, do something powerful with your life. Which would you rather have? Because there's definitely conflict between the two. And I think it's time for you to choose this one over here, right? Your dreams, your extraordinary life. I want you to build that. So here's how we're going to practically do it. I'm going to give you an exercise. In fact, I'm going to give you 2 exercises in this video because it's important to actually put this into practice, not just think about it. So the first exercise I'm going to get you going on right now. Here's the one thing that you're taking away from this video. It's this one single statement. I am completely independent of the good or the bad opinions of others. Such a powerful statement. It's so powerful that I'm going to say it with you right here. I want you to say it with me 3 times in a row. We're going to say it to get it to sink into your mind. All right? Ready? I'm going to guide you. I am completely independent of the good or the bad opinion of others. All right? Again, say it with me. I am completely independent of the good or bad opinions of others. Say it with me again, 3rd final time. I am completely independent of the good or the bad opinions of others. Good. This is a powerful statement. You don't presently realize how powerful this statement is. Here's my assignment for you. If you really want to get over this people-pleasing thing, then here's what you're going to do. For the next 90 days, this is not going to be easy. For the next 90 days straight, for 5 minutes, 5 whole straight minutes, you're going to affirm to yourself as an affirmation. You're going to say to yourself, with your eyes closed, for 5 minutes straight, I am completely independent of the good or the bad opinion of others. And you're going to do that for 5 whole minutes, just repeating it, repeating it, repeating it, repeating it, repeating it. And then doing that day after day after day after day, weekday and weekends, work days and holidays, for 90 days straight. If you do that, that's going to be a very powerful impulse to reprogram the subconscious mind of yours, which right now doesn't believe this at all. But if you say this for 90 days straight, you're going to be surprised at how simple something like this can be, and yet still have a very powerful shift on your psyche. So go ahead and do that. And don't dismiss this as you going to become some sort of evil monster or some sort of asshole or cold-hearted person, right? This is not going to happen to you. This might be a problem for somebody else. If I was talking to an audience of not people-pleasers, but psychopaths or murderers or assholes, you know, if I was talking to people like that, then I wouldn't be giving this conversation to them. They need more empathy, right? They need a dose of empathy in order to get them back towards center. You're so off-center to this side here, you don't need more empathy. What you need is a little bit of cold-heartedness. Really, it's not cold-heartedness, it's just not caring a fuck, right? To put you on this middle path. That's what you need. So don't worry, you are not going to become evil. You're not going to become a monster. People are not going to hate you because you do this. In fact, people will start to respect you because you find your spine in life, right? And you get some sense of direction. And the final point that I want to leave you on is that you also got to consider this. This game that you're playing of trying to please everybody, even if you play this game perfectly, you do everything right, you're the perfect human being. You're the perfect human being for your parents, for your siblings, for your spouse, for your girlfriend, for your boyfriend, for your coworkers, for your friends, for your boss. You're just the perfect human being for that random stranger that's walking down the street. You do everything the way they want. There are still going to be haters. There are still going to be people that criticize you. There are still going to be people that think bad of you. I want you to really realize how much of a losing game you're playing. Because in your mind, you might be telling yourself, well, if I just did a little bit better, maybe if I was a little bit better with my parents, or with my relationship in my marriage, or at my, at my job, then all my problems would be solved. I would have this glowing self-image here. It would be all validated and pristine, and then everything would be great. Well, that day is never going to come. And in fact, the more you're doing good stuff in life, the more assertive you are, which you need to be in order to accomplish big things in life, then the more attention you're going to draw. You're going to draw attention from people. Maybe you get a little bit of fame at your job, in your social circle, and as you're drawing more attention, just by the law of averages, at least one person in 100 is going to hate you. They're just going to, for any random reason either, hate how you look, hate how you sound, hate your ideas, hate your philosophy, hate everything about you. Criticize your work, hate your family, hate your friends. 1 in 100 will think that about you. So the more successful you become in life, the more of a tougher skin you're going to need, because you're going to have lots of people that are going to be criticizing you in various ways. And that's okay, because you have to let go. You have to just release your clench. Right now you've got this pristine self-image that you're just clenching so hard. You gotta release it and just let it go as like a fairy tale that you don't need anymore. It's like that security blanket that you had as a little kid that made you feel safe and good. Well, after you grow up a little bit, you don't need it anymore. You can just leave it to the side and kind of like be a grown-up. So that's what I'm encouraging for you here. And the final exercise, how do you stay up with this? How do you follow up and implement this stuff? Here's what you do. I want you to start going against the grain, right? Against the grain of what you're used to, against the grain of people pleasing. I want you to become very mindful and conscious of all the little areas in your life where you are being fake, being inauthentic, sacrificing yourself for other people. It can be something extremely simple. Like maybe you get an email from your boss, and instead of serving your kids dinner, you feel like you have to sit down and instantly reply to your boss, because you feel like if you reply to your boss within 30 minutes of getting his email, then you're going to look a little bit better in his eyes. Maybe it's just a simple little thing like that where you're being fake. Whereas if you were more authentic and grounded in your own values, then you might say to yourself, wait a minute, I should really finish with the kids here, then I'll answer the email later, or maybe even next morning. Just like little things like that. I want you to become very mindful of those. And I want you to almost purposefully screw around with the system a little bit. So push people's buttons a little bit. You need that. You're a people pleaser. So your pendulum, it's swung all the way over to this end. You need to start to swing it back this way, right? And it's okay if you even go a little bit towards the asshole and the cold-hearted zone right here, because you'll find your way back. You'll find your way to the center. You got to kind of trust yourself on this. So right now you need to apply some force in the opposite direction. And here's a very easy way to do this. Very easy. Everyone has, what? A Starbucks near them, right? We all have a Starbucks near us, everywhere in the world, so you have no excuses. Here's what you can do, an exercise. I want you to do this at least once in your life. Go to a Starbucks, and preferably during a busy time when they have 10 or 20 people in there. And people are lined up ordering their coffees. Maybe it's the middle of lunch or something like that. And get in line, stand there, make sure there's some people behind you in the queue, and then as you're moving ahead, when you get to place your order and you're standing there and you're about to walk up to the cashier, you just stand there and you think to yourself and you start observing the menu as though you don't know what you want to order. And you stand there and you stand as long as you can, but you do that for at least a couple of minutes where you just stand there, your feet are totally planted, the cashier is looking at you asking you to come forward to place your order, but you stand here like you don't give a fuck, and you mumble to yourself wondering what you want to order. And you do that even though you know that there are 10, 20, 30 people behind you that are eager to get their orders in. Otherwise, maybe they're going to be late to work. And you just stand here and you take that pressure. That's what I mean by going against the grain. You kind of go against the grain of society right here when you're doing this. You take that pressure. People are going to be giving you weird looks. Maybe someone's going to tell you that you're being rude, that you're being careless. Good. You need that. You need that because you want to be this goody-goody. You want to uphold this pristine self-image. You need some people to tarnish it for you, and you need to tell yourself, you know what? It's okay if a couple of people in this world think that I'm an asshole. It's okay. It's even okay if I think I'm an asshole sometimes. It's okay. It's a better way to live. All right, this is Leo. I'm signing off. I know this was a long video, but this is something that was very near and dear to my heart, and I know a lot of you have been asking about this, so here you go. This is how to stop caring what other people think. If you apply some of this stuff, I know you'll get good results. And for me, this has actually been one of the most fulfilling personal developments that I've gotten in the last year or two, is really releasing a lot of it. A lot of it I had to do because I'm on YouTube, so I get a fair share of criticism and negative comments. I mean, I get a lot of positive comments, which is great, but even those, I had to also kind of wean myself off of that. So I try to be more independent from the praise and the criticism, and I think it's good for everybody. Even if you're not shooting YouTube videos, it will be handy in your life too. Alrighty, this is Leo.